So, Hare Krishna, Gurus Matajis. Welcome all of you for this Srimad Bhagavad Gita session. Today's verse will be second chapter, 70th verse, 70 from Bhagavad Gita. So, let us start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. जगन्नाथ बलदेश्वर माई की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री गोपाल की जय, गुरुदेव चारी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपाद विष्णु श्री नमः शिव स्वामी नामने। नमो विष्णुपाद विष्णु भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण। हरे कृष्ण, श्री राम राम। Just share the screen for this verse. So second chapter, verse number 70. आपूर्यमाणम् अचलप्रतिष्ठम् समुद्रमाप प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामयम् प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai. It's a beautiful verse, actually. This, in fact, the connection between the first chapter and the second chapter is that, see, the first chapter we saw Arjuna presents more and more doubts and reasons to avoid fighting, correct? Then Arjuna ultimately became totally confused. So what happened? His relationship with Krishna changes from a friend to guru and disciple. Now, in the second chapter, from 2.54 to 2.72, the last verse, right? All these verses are really wonderful verses, very practical uh, instructions given by Krishna, because in 2.54, Krishna asks four questions with regard to general symptoms, means it is the questions for how to recognize a person situated in Krishna consciousness. How do you recognize a person who is in Krishna consciousness, or self-realized, or sthita prajna, right? So four questions. First was the general symptoms, because he had asked. Then, how does he speak? How does he sit? And how does he walk? The answer for general symptoms is given in 2.55. How does he speak? The answer is given in 2.56 and 57. Then how does he sit? The answer is given in 2.58 and 59. And how does he walk? The answer is given from 2.64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 78 verses. How does he walk? See, the point is, how does he walk means not like nowadays, do walking, early morning walk and all this. No, it's not that walk. It implies how does he engage his senses. And while engaging senses, he does with regulation and religious principles. See, unlike the common man, actions of Buddhi Yoga are not driven by selfish desires. So Krishna is giving an example to illustrate the nature of a sthita prajna, that is a self-realized soul. So he gives the analogy in this 2.70 that the rivers flow into the ocean. So what he says is self-realized person, no, he's not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter. Just like the rivers entering into the ocean, which is ever being filled with, but is always still. Correct? So this is the platform of real peace. Krishna conscious person is full because the Lord fulfills all his material necessities. So therefore he is always full like the ocean. And what is the proof of a Krishna conscious man? Lord, Krishna conscious man, he has lost all inclination for sense gratification, although desires are present. So he's steady like the ocean because he remains satisfied in transcendental loving service and thus achieves real peace. He enjoys full peace. See, in different ways, we are looking for peace and satisfaction, correct? Most commonly, we seek it in the arrangements for material comforts, loving relationships, friends, and family. See, although some peace may definitely be found in these ways, okay, but there is no guarantee that it will last. So, in Bhagavad Gita, we find the answers to how one can attain lasting peace. So, that is what in 2.70, today's verse, no, Apuryamanam Achala Pratishtam. That is a person who is not disturbed with incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. See, the purport to this verse, Prabhupada gives 4 points. Number one, as long as one has the material body, as long as one has got the material body, the demands of the body for sense gratification will continue. The devotee, however, is not disturbed by such desires because of his fullness. The second point is, a Krishna conscious man is not in need of anything because Krishna fulfills all his material necessities. The third, the proof of Krishna conscious man is that he is steady in his activities. He is very steady and not even slightly disturbed by the desires for sense gratification, although the desires are present. That's a point to understand. And the fourth one is the fruitive workers, the salvationists, and also the yogis, all unhappy. Why? Because of the unfulfilled desires. So in any situation, if we feel we are not happy, not peaceful, that means we have the desires which are not still fulfilled. So the devotees of Krishna have no material desires. Therefore, they are in perfect peace. So this is the test of how we are feeling satisfied, peaceful, happy. That means there is no desires. Desires will be there, but it should be only Krishna's and feel pleasure for the pleasure of Krishna. Whereas any other desire will give you anxiety, worries, frustration, disappointments, at all. So from the very point a living entity enters the middle world, okay, the very point when the living entity enters into the middle world, he starts developing material desires more and more because his senses come in contact with the material sense objects. After many millions of births and deaths, these desires they form very complicated mesh, right? By which is bound in the material state of existence. In the material world, we think that we'll become happy by running after these desires. But on the contrary, we find that the fulfillment of one desire simply leads to a new demand from the mind, right? And sends them, and then again satisfy another desire. Even if one has a beautiful house, beautiful spouse, and feels satisfied in the life, it may all be gone the next day. So a materialist finds himself endlessly chasing. He's chasing after material desires, but he never finds peace or satisfaction for which he is searching, right? So by developing Krishna consciousness, such a mentally intoxicated soul, intoxicated soul, can at last get the real sense of peace and satisfaction. Krishna explains how this can take place directly in the verse 2.61, where he says, one who restrains the senses, keeping them under full control, and fixes his consciousness upon me, is known as a man of steady intelligence. So the basis of peace is to fix the intelligence on one perfect goal. And such a state of intelligence is called Vivasatmika Buddhihi, one pointed intelligence. So the great sages like Parashara Muni accept Krishna as the ultimate goal on which to fix the intelligence. Now, Parashara Muni has stated that one who is full in six opulences, who has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation, is Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So while Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all the six opulences, unlimited, right? So therefore, great sages like Parashara Muni, they have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And by accepting Krishna as the ultimate goal of his life, the heart of a devotee becomes unaffected to the demands of the senses for material engagement. And in this way, he attains perfect peace. The price he pays in order to fully get this experience is to accept the process of devotional service, which Krishna recommends in the Bhagavad Gita. And by his discharge of devotional service unto Krishna, Krishna reveals himself to the devotee. So let us all fix our consciousness on Sri Krishna, right? As the goal of our lives. How? Through sincere practice of loving devotional service. See, in the Uddhava Gita, where with regard to the where Krishna is giving to Uddhava with the experience explanation of analogy with Avadhuta Brahmana with various spiritual masters. So one of the spiritual master was ocean. It was 11.8.5 Bhagavatam. Muni prasanna gambhiro durvigahyo duratyah ananta paro hi akshobhyah stimitoda ivarnavah. A saintly sage is happy and pleasing in his external behavior, whereas internally is most grave and thoughtful. Because his knowledge is immeasurable and unlimited, he is never disturbed. And thus, in all respects, he is like the tranquil waters of the unfathomable and unsurpassable ocean. So the qualities to learn from the ocean, from this verse, there are six in number. First one is prasanna, cheerful, pleasing. Second is gambira, very grave. Third is durvighaya, durvighaya, unfathomable, cannot fathom. The fourth is duratyaya, unsurpassable. Fifth is anantapara, unlimited. And the sixth is akshobhya, never disturbed. See, prasanna, cheerful or pleasing, right? See, the ocean is very pleasing to look at. Anytime when people get disturbed or in anxiety, if they go to the beach of the ocean, right, and spend some time, naturally become pacified and cheerful, correct? No? We all want a picnic in the beach, right? So peaceful, just looking at this, nothing else around, right? Similarly, saintly personalities are also very pleasing to look at. And just by being in their presence, our anxieties go away. This experience is very much there. Even nowadays, when you go to the temple or see the acharyas in our parampara, just by having the darshan of them, we feel peaceful. All the anxieties are gone. Once, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was so disturbed with the management difficulties, he went a long way to meet Srila Prabhupada, who was in a different location. Okay, he was planning to tell Prabhupada all his difficulties. I just wanted to say I quit. But as soon as he entered Srila Prabhupada's room and saw Prabhupada smiling compassionately at him, all his worries disappeared. He got renewed joy and became very cheerful. Interestingly, Sally Agarwal, no, wife of Gopal Agarwal, in whose house Srila Prabhupada was staying in Butler when he first went to US, did not know anything about the greatness of Srila Prabhupada in those days. But in her interview, she described Srila Prabhupada's smile as oceanic. Prabhupada's smile as oceanic. So even though Prabhupada was a stranger in her house, but still she felt very comfortable talking to him like a father. Being so full in himself with the thoughts of Krishna, he did not expect anything from anybody. So he was easily approachable to everyone, from a small child to leaders of nations. So it is important for us to be cheerful and pleasing in our behavior. After all, Krishna consciousness is not a one-man show. We need to interact with other devotees, general public, cheaters, well-wishers, friends, enemies, all in this life. So even while aspiring to be devotees, we face so much cheating, betrayal, backbiting going on between each other, correct? So in all our transactions in this world, we can expect to be cheated, beaten up, driven out. But in spite of all these risks, we are advised by Krishna to be cheerful, and he gives the way to be cheerful in Bhagavad Gita 2.64 and 65. Ragadvesha vimuktestu vishayanindriyescharan आत्मवश्ये विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धि पर्यवतिष्ठते. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So the important thing is to remember is that we have to be internally joyful and satisfied in Krishna consciousness. Whatever our service or situation may be. Generally, we are over exuberant when things are going very good, and we are morose when things are going bad. So this is because we fail to see Krishna's hand in everything. We cannot be satisfied in Krishna consciousness when we do our service either with attachment or aversion. When we are not satisfied in what we are doing, we lose half the enthusiasm and we do not put in the maximum energy and effort in our service. So as a result, the service ends up in failure and our enthusiasm goes down further, and along with the enthusiasm, we also go down. See, we may put up a very plastic smile, right? Showy enthusiasm for a while, but the show will have to end one day. Unless we are internally cheerful and happy with Krishna consciousness, our smile cannot influence others. So in these two shlokas, 6.4 to 6.5, Krishna is advising us how to become prasanna chetasa, happy-minded and satisfied in Krishna consciousness. First one is when we become free from attachment, raga, and aversion, dvesha, and control our senses, then we can get the complete mercy of the Lord. Prasadam adhikachiti. Second is, as soon as we get the mercy of the Lord, we become happy-minded and satisfied in Krishna consciousness. Prasanna chetasa. And third, as soon as we become happy and satisfied in Krishna consciousness, all the miseries are completely destroyed. Sarva dukkhanam hani rasya upajayate. And the fourth one is, when all the miseries are destroyed, we become established in proper intelligence. Buddhi paryavatishtate. As a servant of servants of the Supreme Lord. See, one word in this verse is akshobhyah, means never disturbed. So this quality of ocean is very nicely described by in the 11.8.6. See, during the rainy season, the swollen rivers rush into the ocean. And during the dry summer, the rivers, not shallow, severely reduce their supply of water. Yet the ocean does not swell during the rainy season, nor it dries up in the hot summer. It is always the same. In the same way, a saintly devotee who has accepted the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the goal of his life, sometimes will receive by providence great material opulence, right? And sometimes he will find himself materially extremely poor, lacking the means to provide himself. So such a devotee of the Lord does not rejoice in a flourishing condition, nor is he morose when poverty stricken. So Krishna is the goal of our life. Until we understand, realize, and accept this truth that Krishna is the goal of our life, we are bound to be disturbed. When we get disturbed? Number one, when others criticize us or hurt us. This is the first one. Two, and another thing is we are not able to flourish like others. So these are the two times when we get disturbed. So to accept criticism is one of the most difficult things in this world. My Guru Maharaj used to say that whenever others criticize, we should know there will not be smoke without fire. There will be at least a pinch of truth in every criticism. So we should try to introspect ourselves honestly and correct our mistakes. See, even if some unjust incident is happening to us, we should remember that it is definitely due to our past karmic reactions. If not of this birth, it will definitely be because of the baggage of sinful reactions of our past lives. Correct. So in such disturbing circumstances, we need to remember and practice the golden instruction. My Guru Maharaj always says, no counteraction is the best counteraction. On the other hand, if we fail to understand this and keep counteracting to the offenses made by others, then in that process, we keep increasing our baggages of sinful reactions. So we should remember that not even a blade of grass can move without Krishna's will. So our Supreme Father Krishna has sanctioned this criticism to occur now, just to purify us and help us to get rid of those reactions so that We don't carry those baggages life after life. So if you are able to understand this, then we'll be able to experience great peace of mind. It also helps us not to hold grudge against the people who are hurting us. And the second was, we are not able to flourish like others. This also will disturb us, right? See, be it family, school, work, or business life, it has become like a rat race now. See, gone are the days when people felt happy at each other's well-being. Nowadays, there is either gross or at least subtle envy when we see others flourishing. Now, this envy, which is poisonous like cancer, unnecessarily disturbs us and impacts our health more apart from hurting others. Correct. So, at least for our own well being, we should give up this quality of envy and be satisfied with whatever Krishna has blessed with us. See, never feel short of anything in life. Never feel short of anything in life. Our problem is most of the time we wrongly think that we deserve more than what we are blessed now. That is the problem. So, reality is we deserve nothing. And whatever we are blessed now is completely due to the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So, Guru and Krishna are our best well wishers. And based on our individual karmas, capacity, and sincerity, they mercifully bless us those things which would help us to go back home, back to God very soon. So, understanding this reality, we should be satisfied and grateful to them for whatever we are blessed. Instead, if we get disturbed by our overflowing desires, then we are unnecessarily delaying the process of going back to Krishna. That's what we saw in 2.70. No? So, we get easily disturbed and distracted by the miseries of this world and waste so much of our precious time. Now, Chanakya Pandita very nicely illustrates the value of time in his Niti Shastra. Ayuhu kshana eko api na labhya swarna kotibihi. Wasted time cannot be obtained. Wasted time cannot be obtained even by giving millions of gold. See, on our own, it is not possible for us to practice this wonderful quality of Akshopya, never disturbed, right? So we pray at the lotus feet of Guru, Prabhupada, and Krishna to bless us with the strength to practice this wonderful quality of never being disturbed so that we make the best use of the remaining time. See, there was a question how to get rid of unwanted desires. See, Srila Prabhupada gives a nice example. See, there are rice fields in Mayapur, and one thing in the rice field is it should always be full of water. If the rice field is full of water, then the paddy plant will grow and the weeds will never grow. Paddy plants is our bhakti creeper, and weeds means unwanted desires. So if the field is full of water, then weeds will never grow because they don't grow in water. But what happens sometimes? Without knowledge of the owner of the field, the water drains out. And as soon as the water drains out, the field becomes completely dry. Paddy plants never grow in dry fields, right? The weeds grow in dry fields. So Prabhupada says your mind is like a paddy field and it should always be full of water of Krishna Katha. Then the bhakti creeper will grow. And as soon as our mind is drained out of Krishna Katha, then weeds in the form of unwanted desires will grow. So it is very nicely said that a vacant mind is a devil's workshop. So it is much more than that, right? That's why Srila Prabhupada and the Shastras and his representatives, they always insist on this point that we have to carry on the devotional service. See, one of the temple during the life of Prabhupada said that Srila Prabhupada had instructed them that the brahmacharis in the temple should not be let free for a single moment. So early in the morning, they have to get up, chant few rounds before Mangalarti, then attend Mangalarti, then again complete their rounds. And as soon as the rounds are completed, Ishopanishad reading was there, then Srimad Bhagavatam class was there, then breakfast prasadam was there. Then before going for Sankirtan, they have to read a few shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, then go for Sankirtan, come for the lunch prasad, then eat, then again they read, and again they go out and come back again for the Bhagavad Gita class. Then there is Krishna book reading. Till going to bed, they were doing all this and never left alone. Because of this, the whole thing went on very nicely. So this should be our life. We cannot ignore the mental activities. We cannot. See, we didn't want to get entangled in marriage and children, but now we are God, right? So now it is in our hands to stop the process. See, no good running away here and there, but expertly manage. See, somehow or the other, Krishna will give the capacity to manage. manage very nicely, right? Within our limited circumstances and be satisfied with whatever we do. So wife should also be satisfied. The couple should be completely satisfied, taking the help of the verse in Ishopanishad. Isha Vasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tene tyaktena bhunjita magridakasya swaddanam. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota. And one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. This is the best verse to be contented with. Ishavasya Midam Sarvam. Everything belongs to the controller of the universe. Tene Tyaktena Bunjita. Whatever is reserved for you as your quota, you use it. See, it doesn't mean you have to sleep and wait. My quota will come, my quota will come. No. You have to work, right? Honest endeavor is required. And then you get your quota. As soon as you get your quota, don't look to others. That he has a Mercedes Benz, I am having only a Fiat. No, your Fiat car is much better than his Mercedes for you. This is how we should be satisfied with our own things and stop looking at others. If you want to increase the quota, then you have to go to the controller and request him. Go to Krishna and request him. He will look after you. He is always looking after you, right? He will do. It is not it is not his capacity, but your surrender which is more important. And then only different desires will stop. Even then, desires will keep on pouring, right? So this is how our mind should be like an ocean. So many desires will come, but we don't pay any attention to them. And if you ignore the desires, they'll come and go. For example, I want to buy Taj Mahal. That is also a desire, but I ignore it because I know I cannot even rent a room. What to talk of Taj Mahal? It is beyond my capacity. I ignore that idea. So as soon as you ignore the idea, it goes away. This is how our ideas have got to be ignored every time. How to ignore? Just we should not leave the mind vacant. Don't leave the mind vacant. This is a big test for materialistic people. And for us who have to dwell in this material atmosphere, but have to worry about spiritual progress, right? This is a big test. So it is very well difficult, but that is the only way. There is no other way. Well tested and well proved. Srila Prabhupada has given. Please follow. That's all. Don't leave Krishna's, Prabhupada's and Guru's lotus feet. Catch it tightly. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गौतम वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधु भयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो अनंत कोटि वैष्णव हरे कृष्णा प्रभु माता जी thank you for this opportunity to glorify Krishna and purify ourselves. If you have any questions or anything share, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
We are just overwhelmed, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
just like it. But be with the ocean. Don't overrun, go above.
No,
Same,
no,
right?
no.
Hare
Overwhelmed
Krishna.
with your knowledge, Prabhuji, and what you have conveyed to us and what we are supposed to do. And thank you for the direction and guidance. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Gurudev ki jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Prabhuji. Thank
Pranam.
you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I like the way you compared the paddy field to our minds. But Prabhuji, how much ever you try in your life, the weeds of our mind, we can never remove, Prabhuji. Something or the other is always there. How much
That's
ever
true.
we try this material world, if it's not seeing others and feeling jealous or not having something and feeling want, something or other is there, Prabhuji. For a small matter, even if your help is not coming, your mind is always fixed over there.
True. Yeah. But that's why
Yeah,
Krishna says, no, mind is will be your greatest friend or is your greatest enemy also. So it's up to
enemy.
you.
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's
It's
why we
very
are taking this
difficult,
higher
Prabhu.
higher text of Krishna consciousness. Chanting is only process only.
Yes,
And
Prabhuji,
if we
agree.
just introspect and look ourselves from before Krishna consciousness now, definitely there are a lot of changes. We are building that foundation. So nothing to worry. Krishna will take
Yes,
care.
there is lot of changes, Prabhuji. I agree, there is lot of changes. But yet, even after hearing so many classes, chanting,
Correct.
and doing so many sevas also, Prabhuji, yet I find myself, I'm talking about myself, Prabhuji. Yet I
Yeah,
find that at times I'm deluded by these material this thing, Prabhuji, and I find it hard to get back my concentration on Krishna.
Don't worry, Mataji. That's what yeah, another example was Krishna gives you tests. He was always testing you. It's difficult. Sometimes it's deviation testing. That is to test you whether whatever you learned, are you putting into practice so that you go to the next stage. That's why this is like in small doses.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
your advice and your classes. Thank you, Prabhuji. They teach
Thank
us
you
a
so much,
lot.
Prabhu.
They
Hare
really
Krishna,
teach
Prabhu.
us a lot,
Pranam,
Prabhuji, and
Prabhuji.
they're very valuable lessons also. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Good
Krishna.
day.
Danvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees. Danvat Pranam
Hare
to you all.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Standard Pranam Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna. Thank you
Prabhu.
very much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji. We'll stop here now. Hare Krishna, because I am the host. So take care. Have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Thank you very
Krishna,
much.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
One has to take, I think, I have to take janmas to adhere to the time. You say 7:15, you say 6:45, you say 8 o'clock, you say 10 o'clock on the dot,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We
Well, time is Krishna, Mataji. So we should
yes, Prabhuji.
utilize the time. So that is actually we are with Krishna.
Hare
So this is our
Krishna.
24 hours. Thanks. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
7:13, 7:13 and a half, you just finished the class, Prabhuji. Such a strict adherence. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Guru, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Good day.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Guru. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji Mataji. Hare Krishna. Stop. Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.